think it's still December 20th, 1987, and I was showing Walter and Mary these moccasins I got, and Walter doesn't think those are Indian moccasins. You don't
No,
think so, huh?
no, they probably are, but
Maybe they're made in Manitoba
I
or
said
someplace else.
the old time Indians, they had kind of long beads
Oh yeah.
that use it, a little bit long, and they're big around. I think they were strung on a string, John. You
Oh,
figure
yeah.
they glued on, but they must be a string. They string them on a string, and
Yeah.
then,
Yeah, the old way was so they wouldn't unravel, right?
yeah.
If one broke off or two broke off, the rest would stay on,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you've done that kind of work, Mary?
Mm-hmm.
Much?
Yeah, I did lots when I had my kids. Christmas time, you should see their moccasins all beaded up when they have
yeah.
Christmas concert.
Yeah.
Christmas concert is special for our culture, as you know, when we
Uh-huh.
have Christmas concert. And all the kids dress in moose hide,
Uh-huh.
Some of them, they have little vests, moose hide vests. Me, I didn't have no much time to make vests
Okay,
for the
keep
kids.
talking. I'm going for the tea.
So I just make moccasins for them and something beadwork on their heads. And the teacher there comes from the States, John.
Is that right?
And he take pictures. There'll be pictures going to the United States of all my kids in Christmas concert. When they had Christmas concert,
Oh yeah.
all dressed in a native outfit, and some of them like play.
Aren't they going
have-
to send you some pictures?
Huh?
Aren't they sending you some
No,
pictures?
I didn't ever ask them for any
You should have.
pictures.
Yeah, you
I
should
should
have.
have kept myself too, yeah.
Yeah.
And one time too, they had this centennial year in Peace River there. All my little kids were in a centennial parade,
Oh yeah.
all dressed up like little Indians,
Oh yeah. They were dressed up like little Indians to
And
look
they
like
were
little
Indians.
look like little Indians.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Do you like
that,
this in
that-
your tea?
Yeah, that's the kind of use.
Okay, keep
Not
going.
too much, just a little bit.
Just a little, huh?
Yeah.
And sugar, right?
Yeah.
According to all the stories I read, that on the trail, sugar was most important in the winter.
Mhm.
You know the tea break on the trail?
Mhm.
Is that right?
Did you ever drink snow water?
Yeah.
I like snow water with sugar in it. Oh, I can drink gallons and gallons of it.
Yeah?
Snow water is sure.
Snow water.
Hot? You heat it up?
Yeah. Make tea.
Takes a
Oh.
lot of snow to make a little bit of water.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so the verdict is that those could be Manitoba moccasins, huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
But
think,
not Cree.
They're handmade Indian moccasins of some kind. They got a good tan on them. See, the Indians up north of Fort St. John, they ain't smooth and no
Oh,
grain.
it is.
They
It's
scrape
kind of
all-
rough.
Yeah, well, they scrape all the grain off, you see, and it's
Oh, yeah.
thicker.
Oh yeah.
These tanned like white man tanning. Eh, Walter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this is, white man
Yeah.
tanning.
But the Indians might tan that way now. But they've changed their customs sometimes too, you know.
Oh yeah, sure.
Better equipment and they tan them that way, see. Yeah, I got a little
Don't
pair of,
sage kakskitaman, mantuas na ikaniwit maguyan, makawi kapsisen, imaskausit.
we used to,
Tapuin sagihig, Jesus misagihig, mantuas na ikaniwit maguyan, makawi
louder.
kapsisen, imaskausit. Manton sage kakskitaman, mantuas na iganiwit maguyan,
Back in
magawi kapsisen, imaskausit. That's Jesus Loves Me in Cree. Just the two verses.
What Cree?
And Northern Indian, I don't
That's
know.
Northern Cree. There's
Northern
Saskatchewan.
Would you be
Cree.
able to speak to the Crees over in northern Ontario?
No, I don't think so.
The language would be different.
It would be different, yeah. Like these Kootenays here, they talk different language.
Yeah.
I can't understand it.
Well, that
One time I was in a bank in Kirmeas there,
yeah,
when we used to deal in Kirmeas Bank there, and
yeah.
these two Indian women, they come in, and then they yap away there, and they said hello to me, and I said hello, and I hear them talking in Cree. And I couldn't understand them, you know, and they asked me, can you understand us? And I said, no. I said, and they said, that's our language, Kootenai. Kootenai, whatever, Walter,
Yeah,
Kootenai.
but the Kootenai are not Cree.
They're not?
No, they're Salish.
No, they're a different kind of
They're
Indian.
Salish, the
Oh.
Kootenai.
I had a young Indian boy stay with me all winter and then a month or two in the spring before he took off and went back home. He was from Meadow Lake, somewhere close to Meadow Lake,
Meadow Lake,
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Well, like right.
Oh,
And he could talk with the Crees like the Assassins are Crees up there. Crees around Fort St. John.
Yeah,
He said their language, some words are a little bit different,
yeah.
but he could understand them and carry
You
on
know,
conversation with them.
North Battleford,
And
too.
his folks come from someplace where was it? Someplace in the United States across the line. They moved up from Saskatchewan quite a few, before he was born, I guess.
Oh, I see.
They
Yeah.
moved there.
Uh-huh.
So that's where that Saskatchewan Cree language originated in the United States someplace.
It did.
They moved from the United States up to,
Those Cree did.
yeah, some of them anyway. There might have been
Yeah.
some Crees there to start with, and
Yeah.
I suppose their
Yeah.
language would intermingle
Yeah.
and get into one language like.
But then them
Languages are-
Saskatchewan Indians, Walter, they talk the same language as we do, them Saskatchewan Indians.
Yeah.
But every word they say, they use a chick at the end of it. Chick,
Oh,
you know?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Like
a
they
little,
got-
a little bit
Like they
different.
got a
out
little
of the
hiccup on the end or something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we had a preacher from Meadow Lake, Saskatchewan, you know, and he talked Cree the same as we do, and then we understand whatever word he says, and then he used to preach in Cree. And then the kids, they said, when we got home after the service, my kids, Mom, how come they put chick at the end of each word? He said, the minister, he said. And I said, that's the way they talk our language. I tell them, you know, but it's the same as we talk in
Oh.
Cree. But they just put at the end of chick, every word they talk about is chick at the end of it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And I asked, he come there one afternoon, Sunday school. He wanted me to see if we understand his Cree before he start preaching, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
he come there and he said, Mary, he said, I'd like to ask you something. I'm going to talk in Cree, see if you understand what I'm talking about, he said. And if that's the same language as you guys talk here in Little Buffalo, he said. And I said, okay. So he come there, the kids, they brought him home. He brought his two little kids with him and they played outside. And then he started talking to me and I told him, yes, I understand every word you say. But we don't use chick. I noticed that, he said. Lots of times the kids are playing outside recess time. He said, they don't talk the same as we do, he said.
Mm-hmm. Do you know Glenn in Caramias? Glenn?
No, I don't
He
think
works at the Indian Band office, Glenn?
Oh, yeah, we know him, yeah.
You know him, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you do. He's pretty up on things, you know. He knows the history of his tribe there pretty well.
Yeah,
you
he
know.
was telling us, see, Walter, his granddad used to tan hides, he said, even bear hides, he said.
Yeah.
You remember he told us?
Mm,
She left that bear hide with him.
to tan.
No, he was going to sell it. And
At the store there?
yeah,
At that trading
At
post?
that
He got,
friendship center.
he come back afterwards. He'd got a $50 offer on
Oh,
it,
yeah.
and he thought that was too cheap. He
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
let it go.
agree.
And I told her, well, gee, I should have. I told him he should have sold it.
I wouldn't have sold my mucklucks if he had sold that. And after that, I sold my mucklucks. You remember?
Oh,
That
yeah.
Indian woman
Yeah.
bought my
Yeah.
mucklucks. if he had sold it for 50,
But that's
we were out of money that time. You know, when
Mm-hmm.
last money I had was I went to church and
Yeah.
put my money in the church, and
Yeah.
It wasn't
then we
like
had-
Okay, we just got something interesting here about.
We're just looking at a model here of a wooden Model T car. It reminds me of the time when I was, well, I'd be about 10, 11 years old, I guess, maybe 11 years old. My dad was sick in the hospital. We had no Model T car. And so he phoned out and told me to bring the car in. He was coming out of the hospital. So I drove it in. It was cold, you know. There was ice on the road, and that darn thing, it was froze up, I guess, and I couldn't figure out. It was hot. It should be thawed out. There was steaming and the boiling and the steaming and boiling. And I had a high-level track just before you get into Castor when you're coming from the south.
A high-level track?
Yeah,
What's
they
that?
say they're high up.
high up and
You drive
going
up this
down
way,
here.
and then you go down another way to go off it. They call them high-level tracks.
What, is that a railroad track?
Yeah,
Yeah,
railroad.
railroad track.
Yeah, okay.
They call that a high-level track
Yeah,
anyway.
okay, yeah.
And I got right up on the railroad tracks, and that thing took a notion it's going to stop. It go a whoof, and it quit right there. It got so hot it wouldn't run anymore. It was red hot parts of the motor, you know. And here, I looked down there to the right. I'd be coming from the east, I think, if I remember right, in Castor, Alberta. And
Coming
there
a
go
train.
chop, great old steam engine train coming there. Not very far down there either. Gee, I didn't know what to do. I was just a kid to see. My golly, gee, they with that car, it's going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
So I got behind it, I put my back up to it and braced my feet, and I
Yeah.
pushed. And by golly, got it moving, and it rolled down that. There's quite a little bank down there. It
Yeah.
rolled and went off to the left of the fence there. It runs
Yeah.
that fence and stopped. Didn't hurt the old car a bit.
Is that right?
And just got off the track in time. So there's some guys come along and they helped me pull it out of there, and it cooled off a little bit. And they told me then what's the matter with it. They put some water in it. And
Put some water in it. No, not to put water
yeah.
in it.
If you'd run one of these modern cars to that hot, you wouldn't have no motor left.
That's right.
Yeah,
And it
but
worked.
them damn things, the old Fords, they get red hot, and they still didn't seem to hurt 'em much.
Is that
They
right?
made good. Best cars they ever had in this world, I guess.
Were those old Model
Yeah.
A's and Model T's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no Model T.
Huh. Gee.
And I proceeded up to the hospital. Of course, my daddy drove it home.
Mhm. It was his car,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, it was his car.
So you think that model's okay, huh?
Another time we was going to town, we got about 2 miles from Castor, Alberta there on that 3-mile stretch there. You went 3 miles straight north, the last stretch going into Castor from where we lived. And boy, God, it run out of gas. So some guys come along. They had little newer model cars out by that time. These guys come along and they give us a ride uptown. Of course, my dad, he went to the beer parlor. We went by the garage and he told him to take some gas down, and the boy, he'd drive it uptown.
Mhm.
And I got down there and I had one of these big Mackinac coats on, big sleeves.
Yeah.
And I got in this thing and they took off to beat hell. You all right now? Oh, yeah. And I stepped on the gas. It was icy. I'd never drove on ice very much. And gee, I shut the gas off. It started to slide, and that would have been all right too. But when I shut the gas off, the lever, it had gas levers on it, one for the spark.
I remember
and
that.
one for
Yeah, I
gas.
remember that. Yeah.
And this darn lever caught in my sleeve, I guess. And they just went whoop,
Oh.
and it turned it off. It seemed went on the ice and it turned over to the side.
Oh.
And there it was running to beat hell laid on the side.
Oh.
So I crawled in under there and I
Turned it
shut the
off.
key off.
Yeah.
And the Model T. And, so the old man then he put a new body on that thing afterwards, a little later model body. He kept the motor.
Mhm.
It seemed to he figured it was a good motor, and then it was, it was. It'd get red hot and it seemed to hurt. And,
Gee. Yeah. Huh.
that's the first car accident I had.
Yeah.
It was before that I pushed it off the track.
Yeah. My dad talks about those old cars with a lot of fondness too. He liked those old cars.
I think that's all the people would need right today. They don't need these here ones that go mighty.
Big looking cars.
You know, I went
high
down the road.
expensive
And this
things.
is what doing. I see a guy
Our
going
pickup
past me.
here is no good for nothing. You know, when we go to Alberta, when it hits the rocks, there's a bend on it.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
no, there's a few places.
In the body.
Yeah,
No,
the body.
there's a did or two where somebody went by us and they'd kick rocks up their tires. Did the girl darn metal, you know.
Yeah. How about hailstones? Hailstones will dent a car too.
Some of these new ones, yeah.
Well, my old one, my '69 pickup,
Oh,
I got a bunch of whole dents in the top of the cab where the hailstones came down. Boy, they came down. Big hailstones, great big hailstones. Yeah.
I saw one time up in the Blueberry come a hailstorm. I put my saddle over my head.
Really?
Like an old horse, he put his head way down. There's a pretty big hailstones. That's about the
Why
biggest.
didn't you share your saddle with
No,
the
but my-
horse?
It
He
don't,
could have got under there too, huh?
Usually in the north, you know, it doesn't come hailstorms like it does
Yeah.
in the southern
Yeah.
country. It comes harder hailstorms than it does in northern country for some reason.
You wouldn't have a darning needle, John.
Yes,
Can I borrow one?
sure.
Where I want to finish these
Yeah.
socks. I finished
Yeah.
them.
Okay. I'll get
And
that
the
darning
scissors.
name. Introduce us here. This is Walter and John again. Now, it's a couple days later here. We're over at Walter's place.
They're out trapping coyotes right now.
Yeah, we're talking coyotes now. And about how we lost traps to animals. Today I thought maybe this is the 27th, 28th. 28th of December. Today. So, I thought maybe since a couple old trappers here we could talk about that. You've been seeing this mangy old coyote out here, or wasn't he too mangy? Was he a good looking one?
No, he looks like his fur is not bad at all.
Oh yeah.
And but today he's got. It could be a different coyote. There's more than
Yeah,
one coyote
yeah.
around here.
But you think he had a trap or something was wrong with one paw?
Yeah, something was wrong with one paw. And I got thinking afterwards it could have been a number one trap or something
Yeah,
on it. But
yeah.
I don't think so. It'd have to be a small.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this guy next door with the rabbits was a little excited and he set something there. Could be weasels around too, you know.
No, he wouldn't sit in there, no.
Oh, wouldn't he? Oh,
Because you get cats and
oh, yeah.
I don't, not nobody around here that would said
Yeah.
anything, but there might be somebody trapping. You see, you go down here past this trailer court, there might be somebody along the river trapping.
Yeah, yeah. I forget just now whether the season's open. Well, let's see. How old were you when you started trapping, Walter? When did you, and who taught you how to do it?
Well, I was trapping ever since I come up to Peace River Country,
Yeah?
and some of it I trapped weasels and some stuff in Alberta before I come up here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then after I come up here, at first I just trapped around. There's two Indians, two different Indians. They had trap lines that were close to where we homesteaded up in the Blueberry country.
Oh, what's that, Castor?
Yeah. No, it was up in Blueberry, north of Fort St. John.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I trapped. They didn't care. I just trapped around.
Yeah.
Not too far away from.
And they didn't
home.
mind you doing
Oh
that.
no.
You're just trapping weasels?
Because we got along good with the Indians there always.
Yeah. Were you trapping weasels?
Trapping weasels, coyotes.
You did get coyotes too, huh?
I was going to tell you one time the first two wolves I caught.
Oh.
I took two number 2 double springs,
Uh-huh.
and I saw there was lynx tracks I saw. They had been riding
Yeah,
over there the day
yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And I come on this place where the wolves eat this moose up, and I seen them. It was stupid that it's wolf tracks.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I set them 2 traps. Just a bone or two left, and all this hair, but so deep.
Mm-hmm. I know. I've been around where they've killed,
Yeah.
and they leave a
And-
pile of hair.
Oh yeah, they eat the hide all up and leave the hair there.
Yeah.
So I set them in that, just covered the traps up with a little bit of hair.
Yeah.
And I come over the next day and I had 2 wolves. One was caught good, so the other one was just about ready to get out of the darn trap.
Did you have a 22?
No, I had 30-30.
Oh, so you let it go,
And
huh?
so I shot him right there,
Yeah.
right off the horse,
Yeah.
and I killed the other one then.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 wolves. And I call them as they're no good for wolves. The trap that size,
No,
number
that's
2
too
double
small.
spring. Oh,
That's
way
too
too
small,
But
yeah.
I caught 2 wolves, just a
Yeah.
fluke, I guess. So,
we always used to consider the least was a number 4.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
the least. And then they had some special ones for wolves that were even bigger than
Well,
4.
the trapping, last year or two they come out, I was trapping on the trap line, it was 4.5.
Yeah, yeah,
Four and a
came
half
out with big
boat
big traps.
They're
Yeah.
pretty, they're a little bit, the springs ain't much stronger.
But the
than-
jaws are bigger.
The jaws are bigger, so
Yeah.
you get more jaw space.
So it comes out of the snow and stuff
They're
better.
like a small bear trap.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what would you get for a wolf in those days? What did they?
Well, we got, at that time, I think we got some little bounty on them or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
did get food
yeah.
and dried things.
Yeah, but they're a bit of work. Big animals, pelt them out and everything.
I just
Yeah.
slip my mind
Yeah.
right now. I
Yeah.
think of it sometime. I might think that
Yeah,
they wasn't too awful high.
yeah. For a long time,
Yeah.
long-haired fur wasn't worth
wolves,
anything.
Wolves did after that. They got up to be quite a good price, but right at that time,
Yeah.
they didn't get too
What
much.
year would that have been?
Well, that would be about the second year was up there. Would be about 1931, something
Mhm.
like that. Quite a
So you
while.
didn't have any traps bigger than number 2s, huh?
Well, at that time, no. I think I had a. No, I think I got some bigger traps after that.
After that, yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't
but-
have too many big traps
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah,
I trapped mostly around there for weasels,
yeah. Number 8s and
Yeah.
1s, little single
and
spring.
squirrels.
Yeah, you snared those.
Right in the hardest times, the squirrels were 10 cents a piece, I think, at that time. And I snared them mostly with little
Yeah, copper
coppers and
copper
arrow
wire. Yeah, yeah.
And
Tell me, how did you do it? No, I know. I
got
know.
enough to buy a 22, and the 22 was about $7 and some cents.
And you got enough squirrels.
I caught enough squirrels there at 10 cents a piece that winter.
Yeah.
Long toward spring, I bought myself a single shot 22.
Oh yeah. What brand? Cooey?
Winchester.
Winchester. Was it a good rifle?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you keep it a long time?
Oh, I had it quite a little while.
Yeah.
And I got another one then. I used to use that when I first started on my trap line, hunting beaver
Uh.
and rats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with that single shot now, I wouldn't, unless it was too dark or something like that, I wouldn't, very seldom would I miss a rat or a beaver.
Is that
I
right?
get used to that gun, you know, and I could really
Mhm.
shoot with it. I could shoot a chicken's head off in a tree quite a
Mhm.
ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got myself then a repeating 22 with one of them slide actions like a
Yeah.
shotgun you showed me
Yeah.
a picture.
Yeah.
And you know, by God, I went there and started to shoot with that thing, and I couldn't hit none with it.
You were
See,
better.
Yeah, well, you're not used to it. Not used to it. You
Mm-hmm.
see,
Mm-hmm.
the old bolt action, I could hit most anything with it. Just got
Mhm.
used to it. See?
Yeah. Well, you only had one shot too. You know.
Yeah,
There's a little
But,
psychology there too.
I used to always take 3 or 4 shells in one hand,
Mm-hmm.
and
You could load pretty fast, huh?
yeah, well, at that time I didn't have this here hand chopped up so bad.
Mhm,
First,
Mm-hmm.
I trapped quite a bit after I had this hand cut too.
Well, how did you do that, Walter? I didn't want to ask you, but you pointed it out to me.
Oh, I sawed wood after dark.
Oh,
And I slipped, stuck. You know how you do when you stumble and
yeah, yeah.
stick your hand out and kiss yourself. And the saw had been sharp, it would have been better, but it cut a nick down in the bone in this one, and
Yeah.
he still it wedged my hand down in between the saw and the mandrel, and it crippled. See, his thumb was
Yeah.
crippled the thumb,
Yeah.
joint in the thumb, smashed
Yeah.
the whole.
Oh, yeah.
Just chewed them off. They
Oh,
look smooth
gee.
now, but it's a hell of a looking mess.
Oh boy, that was a buzzsaw, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cutting
And
cordwood.
it was, yeah, cutting stove wood.
Yeah.
It was dull. If it had
Yeah.
it sharp, it might have cut it off. Made a better
Well,
job.
maybe that's not. Maybe a good thing it was dull, huh, Walter? Yeah.
No.
I'll bet you can still
But
shoot though,
sharp-
can't you?
Huh?
You're right-handed, right?
Yeah.
And you can still shoot, can't you?
Oh, yeah, I shoot, but I can't use a rifle with bolt action, big rifle with bolt action,
Yeah.
because when you trigger with this finger, you see, you put,
Yeah.
your,
Yeah. Yeah.
put your hand down there, and
Yeah.
the bolt comes right in there.
Bang.
I shot a deer. I had I think it was a 303 British. It belonged to Herbie Morgan's, Fortune John.
Mhm.
We was coming down the Hope Road, and there's a deer. I jumps out and I shot the darn thing, you know. And the darn bolt, oh, gee, you talk about the pain.
It drove you right into that stump of your
Yeah,
finger,
right
huh?
in the stump of the finger.
Mm.
And Herbie Horn, shoot again, shoot again. That deer run like a,
Mhm.
just run like everything. He run away,
Mhm,
see?
mhm.
And how the heck would I shoot again? I don't know.
You never got him, huh?
No, we walked down behind the brush pile a little ways and he was laying dead.
Oh, he was. You
And
got him.
The bullet had went into him and cut a little nick in his heart. And he run over about 150 yards. But
Yeah, yeah,
after he shot through the heart.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
how fast it just go like that and never stop.
That's. I had the first one. I thought I missed too. Same thing. I shot him and I thought, oh, how could I have missed that?
They run at least 100
Oh,
yards.
they
if
run a long
but
ways.
it
Yeah, yeah,
seemed like fun in that.
yeah. Well, let's see.
You'd wonder how in the hell he run that far after he shot.
Yeah,
It didn't go through his heart, but mind you, the bullet had made a mark.
it creased it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, you probably got some lungs too.
So I found out I couldn't use a bolt, bolt rifle.
A big rifle.
Yeah.
You could have still used a 22.
Oh, I used that 22. I had a 22 that I used quite a bit, but the bolt didn't stick down like big rifles.
What about you could use a lever action then?
Oh yeah.
Lever action, but
That's
just right.
See, I could have got a cheap rifle. I was going to get a rifle this fall. I got almost 30 off I had. And it had a bolt, but it was just a little short one. It was no Winchester. The bolt that I could shoot without
Hitting that.
hitting that.
Yeah.
If you was careful, if you not, you might hit yourself then.
Yeah.
And
Well, getting back to these first years of trapping, if we could. So you trapped right around Blueberry there, in a short distance from your house, huh?
yeah.
And
Oh, I'd go sometimes over to Squaw Creek. That's about you'd go about 3 miles over to what we call Squaw Creek. It's Umpback Creek we call it on the map. I think that's the name. We call it Squaw Creek. And then you go over there and there's another creek. That's where I got them wolves. I went over to Squaw Creek and down across Squaw Creek and up on the ridge.
Mhm.
Between it and the next creek that runs into Blueberry.
Did you hike as far as I did when I was a kid? Hike a long ways on your trap line? Or did you stay in close as possible?
Oh, trap line. Oh, trap line. You see, I started out at Black Creek. There's a cabin there. There's Nelson Trail there. There's no Alaska Highway at that time, you see, before the Alaska Highway. And then I would go east over to the cabin, and then I'd go down to another cabin, and then I'd go down to another cabin.
Well, now
Then
each
you come
cabin
back-
was how far
then,
apart?
Then you see, I had another well, I built them 2 little cabins out there.
Uh-huh.
The boys took off and had before. And I run this here in a figure 8, like you see.
Okay.
I could run it in a figure 8 like this and come down here to the center and go out in a loop like this.
And then back to the center again.
Yeah,
And there was a cabin at the center?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one cabin there. That's what the boys had it before me. The guy he called that head cabin. That's where
The
he had his
head
head cabin.
Yeah.
But I called my head cabin on the Alaska
On one of
Highway.
those loops there, huh?
On the Alaska Highway.
Yeah.
See, the Alaska Highway ran up through there, and this Black Creek cabin, it was right on the Alaska Highway.
After they built it. In the 40s.
Well, on the old Nelson Trail.
Yeah.
The Alaska Highway, in that place, the Alaska, I don't know whether the Alaska Highway went right through there again now or not, for sure. But the first year they went up, they plowed the old Nelson Trail out, what they used for freighting with horses. They plowed that out, and the trucks went up over it, the whole trucks. I come off the trap line there one day.
Couldn't believe your eyes, huh?
I heard a trucker running.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I couldn't hardly breathe. We get down there and hear the truck road plowed out.
Yeah,
Americans,
winter road.
Yeah.
A winter road
Yeah,
through the
yeah,
tundra. Yeah.
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 They just plowed it out. And
That
let
was
it go
just
after.
before the war,
Yeah.
because they figured that Japan was going to be a problem. They had that in their mind. Japan was going to be a
I
problem,
don't know what they.
so they wanted a road to Alaska in the worst way. Yeah. But
I
getting
don't know
back,
just what they was figuring
Yeah.
for Russia or Japan or something. Because
Yeah.
They figured somebody might come in from the.
across the Bering Strait there. Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, they was in war with Germany, wasn't they?
Yeah. But Japan jumped in there pretty quick. Jumped in 1 or 2 years later. Japan was an ally with Germany.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were Japan, Italy,
And then
Japan,
they-
Italy, Germany, and Finland.
I didn't
Finland.
pay much to.
Yeah. But let's go back to that
I
trap
didn't
line
pay
there.
much attention to the government them days. 'Cause I didn't give
Yeah.
a damn what they done.
You didn't even know what was going on, right?
I didn't even know what them trucks were all doing up there.
Yeah. Well, let's say. So it was about a walk between each cabin, huh? A day's walk
Well,
between
on
each
my
cabin.
line, it was about 10 miles between each cabin.
10 miles, yeah.
And
And if the snow is deep, that's plenty.
yeah, I could draw you a chart to it, just to be doing it that much.
Hey, Walter's got a map going here.
Here's the Nelson Trail. I better
Yeah.
put my glasses on once. We ain't got enough of lights on here. We'll turn some more on pretty soon.
Okay, I'll get this one on.
The Beaten River is the Nelson Road here. Beaten River across here, you see.
Mhm.
And you come up here and you come. They had that when I first started trapping. There's nothing there, you see. But they had emergency in the wartime.
Like
Emergency,
airfield?
Yeah.
Little
Emergency
landing
air
strip?
Yeah,
Landing
emergency landing they call it.
Yeah, yeah.
And Black Creek is it's about 10 miles down the other side of this here emergency landing like that. See where Black Creek crossed. And I had a cabin there.
Right there on the highway, yeah.
And then I take off over here and a cabin by
Another 10 miles.
by some little beaver dams.
Yeah.
And then go up at another cabin up in here. And then you go down let's see, I'm down these are all supposed to be on the other side of the good there. No, over here. Down here was it's about 10 miles here, 10 miles here, about 10 miles down here. This is 20 mile, they call this, and 20 mile. I don't know why they named it 20 mile, but they call it 20 mile cabin. And this here one over here was,
Were there any beavers in the?
this
in
is
the,
one they call head cabin here.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there's beaver dams and
all kinds of stuff.
this here, there's kind of like little lakes, small lakes
Oh,
there.
yeah.
They just
They were
it's
dammed
just-
up creeks,
Yeah,
huh?
it's just beaver dams.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite a good sized little lake by this, and then you go down to. I left one cabin out here somewhere. Oh no, there's you go down here a ways, and then there was some more like little lakes and beaver dams on this side of the trail. Then I
Okay,
went
if I came along
then I
with
went
you,
over here, you see, and I went down here, and they used to some Russian people. I got this from an Englishman there at Carmen that line. He said there's some Russians they made it like a teepee.
Yeah.
Just like a big teepee, a pole standing up and down.
Yeah,
And then they put dirt
yeah,
on the sides, just like instead of putting canvas like
yeah,
you do with a
yeah,
teepee.
yeah.
Put dirt in the side, and then you have a place you crawl into, and you hang a. They had a little door fixed in that, a wooden door somewhere.
Did you ever meet them?
No,
They weren't there.
They'd built that years before.
Oh, yeah, and
then-
moved out of the
then
country.
Then this guy Eric, he got a hold of this trap line,
Yeah.
and they used to meet his partner. He was an Englishman, and his partner was a German, and they're just like two brothers.
Oh yeah.
That was after the war,
Hmm.
and fought in the First World War, like them two guys,
Mhm.
Eric and Louis.
Mhm.
But you see, they was too old when this other war come
Yeah,
on.
so they decided enough. That's enough.
No, they're still traveling, and they used to meet over here, and use this here for their meeting place. He
Oh.
came across in his line.
Yeah.
And then went on down Coda Creek there, and I built that myself because the cabin burnt down. They had a cabin down there, but it burnt down. So I made it one. I was telling you this. I made it one day, I guess.
Yeah, you said you threw it up pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, I just have a bunk in there. I'd lay down in the bunk. I'd reach over and light the fire right out of
Mhm.
the bed before
Mhm.
I'd get up, and
Mm-hmm.
that's all you need is a place to roll your bed out. See, in
Yeah.
the shelter.
Yeah.
And you haul your fur around till you get to one of these big cabins down this end or down here or here.
And then you dropped it off there. Would you
And,
hang it by wires from the ceiling so the mice?
And this
wouldn't-
here come around, the scene comes back to. I ain't got this map drawn
Yeah.
in the proper. It across the ridge. You see, and come back to this cabin here.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But 10 miles. They were all 10 miles. This here one was further,
Mm-hmm.
and that's too far to go in the short days in the wintertime when you're trapping.
Yeah.
You should have them about 6 miles apart.
Yeah.
So you see the short days, short days. You see how short they are here.
Yeah,
North
oh,
they're a
yeah.
little shorter.
Yeah. 9 o'clock till
Yeah.
4.
And I'd start out before daylight, and it was always dark when I got in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's too far to go and fix your sets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I come out one time and I didn't get back up for a month or two. My father and my brother, they wanted to go someplace. I stayed there and fed the animals.
Mm-hmm.
And it snowed in. So I hired a guy, Matt Schick is his name, and I offered him good wages, per day. I was going to pay him to help me break this trail out because it snowed in. And we got over here part way to the first cabin, about in there someplace. But goddamn, he didn't break his snowshoes. And he wouldn't run behind the dogs. He says, if you can't hold him, I should have took him back before I got up there. I went up with the dogs over the Nelson Trail.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't hold them dogs down to a walk, he says, I ain't going to run. You gotta take it, you gotta take a dog trot and the dogs.
Yeah.
It's not a fast run, but you got a dog trot. They're
Yeah.
a little too fast for a walk. And so
Yeah.
you
That's
gotta
where the
learn
word
to
dog
run
trot came from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta learn to walk behind them dogs.
So he was a problem then, huh?
Well, yeah. And he got over there and he broke his snowshoes. And then that was the year that the trucks started going up the highway. And he said, I could have got on driving a truck. And,
Instead of working for you, huh?
yeah. And so when I told him, I said Sliman's going to be up. I forget what day it was. So I turned around and went back and cut over Sliman. And I paid him a month's wages. And he'd only been out about 2 days or 3 days away from home. And I let him go. So I broke the trail out myself, and I went halfway down, break the trail that far, and I'd go back to this cabin.
And stay overnight.
And the next day I'd go on through to the cabin, you see. It doubled it up.
How deep was the snow
Oh, the darn snow was about so deep in
in your old trail?
In the trail, I had
Yeah.
to break trail for the dogs, you
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
You get trail shoes and you go in front of your dogs.
Those long
Yeah.
shoes, those big long
No,
snowshoes.
you have two sets. You have long shoes for going across the country, and then
Yeah.
you have little small trail shoes.
Oh, the bear paws.
No, I didn't use bear paws. They pointed. They were
Oh.
factory-made trail shoes. That had
Oh,
a
I
trail.
see. Yeah,
So you get them from the Indians. My
Yeah.
big snowshoes, I got the Indian-made snowshoes
yeah,
because they're stronger. You break them while it's jumping around the windfalls.
yeah.
You get an Indian-made snowshoe out of birch, and they're pretty hard to
They
break.
hold up, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, they made them strong up in that
Yeah.
country because they lost the windfalls.
Well, what did they make them out of moose hide then? The lacing out of moose hide?
Well, rawhide.
Rawhide.
Yeah, it was moose hide, I guess.
Yeah.
It was rawhide.
Yeah. Yeah. So you bought a few pairs from them, huh? In your time up there?
No, not too many.
Would they last
About,
for a long
two
time?
pairs. One young guy, Bruno, he's supposed to always want to make me a pair of snowshoes. He made the best snowshoes ever was made up in that country. But he'd always got drunk, I guess, when he was going to work on my snowshoes. He never got them made up.
So you had to settle for an inferior snowshoe, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he made awful good snowshoes, that
Huh.
boy.
Well, now, if I came along with you, like this, what was his name, Sheck or
Matt Sheck.
Sheck? Was that his
Yeah,
name?
that's his name, yeah.
If I'd have come along with you, what would we have been carrying on our backs?
Well, nothing.
The dogs
I
had
had,
it
the
in
dog,
the.
I had 3 dogs on the toboggan. I
Oh,
think I had 4 dogs that winter. 3 or 4 anyway.
oh. So you went light. The
And,
dogs
uh,
pulled the
Oh,
the
yeah,
load,
yeah. All you had to do was walk behind the snowshoes.
and they would stay on the trail, of course.
Eh?
There was nowhere for them to go. They had to stay on the trail
Yeah.
because it was just like a road through the woods, huh?
Oh, yeah, some places it's through the opening, and other places you go through the bush.
Uh huh.
Sometimes in open country,
If they spotted
it's
something,
hard to see the trail.
yeah,
when
it gets blown
you,
over.
Yeah,
Huh?
you just gotta head
Yeah.
across through there.
Could you
But most
ever
of
walk
mine-
your trail without snowshoes? I used to do that too.
There was this odd time that I run behind the toboggan snowshoes. It was quite like December and January. Most of the time, you could use trail shoes behind the toboggan.
But then later on,
But it's different. When I had good dogs and I had 4 dogs, I had different dogs up there. I'd ride part way. I just you jump off on the up the hills, up grade, and you get a downgrade, or on the level you jump on your right. On the level you jump on a ways, then you run a ways, and then jump on a ways.
you
Come to
you
the hill,
look
you
forward
get
to
off
those
and push.
downhill runs, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Did
then
you have handles on the back of the toboggan?
Yeah, you put them homemade handles. I made
Mhm.
them myself. Put them in the back of your carry-all.
Yeah.
Then you pry on this way. And
You could steer a little, huh?
yeah,
Brake.
you kind of
Yeah.
steer.
Yeah.
There's places around my head. It's on my side trails there where I didn't have cut out very good. Come to a big windfall, I'd get the dogs up over it, and then I'd lift it in front of the toboggan up on there, and then you go cut the windfall out.
And
there.
you weighed what? 138 pounds? 158 pounds? How much did you weigh?
Oh, me.
That was hard work.
Gee, I don't just what I would weigh then. I weighed myself
Yeah.
probably 140. There was one time in my life after I was out working and farming there. By golly, one time I weighed 165 pounds.
And all muscle.
Yeah, and I was hard as a bullet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, I had to laugh. Different guys getting aroused and drinking on me, haul off and punch me in the stomach. You know.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, I'd just laugh at them.
yeah,
I tell them, all you do if you punch my stomach is hurt your hand.
yeah,
You know. So it's different when he's young.
yeah. But that's got to be hard work. I mean, I used to carry a pack on my back, you know, and snowshoe along. I never had to lift any toboggan up in the air and push it over the deadfalls or anything like that.
Oh, toboggan. Well, you see, when you go around the first trip in the fall, you got to pack your dogs first. And you take a pack on your back.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that lots. And then the beaver hunt in the spring, open water.
Yeah.
But I'd usually just pack the rifle and a bedroll, and I put the rest on the dogs.
Mm-hmm. You didn't
And-
want them getting your bedroll wet.
And I'd take flour, sugar, tea, and I could stay out in the bush with 3 dogs for a couple of months because I'd live off the country.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
salt with me.
Yeah, yeah,
Eat beaver meat and eat chickens. And,
yeah. How would you cook it?
huh?
How would you cook beaver meat?
Oh, you put it in a pot and you boil it.
Is that the best way? Not fry it, huh?
No,
It'd be too fatty, huh?
I never did actually. I don't think I tried to fry it. We'll
Oh.
just boil it. If you want to
Yeah.
boil it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it don't taste very. I did. I think too. It don't taste very good fried.
But boiling it.
Yeah, you boil it and.
What does it taste like in comparison to, let's say, domestic?
Well, this stupid turkey we had for Christmas. It had a good fat beaver. I'd far rather eat that beaver meat.
Would
to tell
ya?
the truth.
Yeah?
Now some people might not like beaver meat.
Yeah.
You got that. You always taste that little bit like the
Aspen?
casters. Like
Yeah.
the casters.
Oh, you can smell it, huh?
Casters smell. You know?
Yeah, that strong, pungy smell, huh?
Yeah, it's got a little taste to it.
Yeah.
But you just so you like it.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I got an
Yeah, I
idea.
really
Talking
like
about
beer.
eating stuff, how strong is that
Darn
coffee?
old turkey. Darn old turkey.
That old coffee
we
might
shut
be-
it off. We'll
okay.
have a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Your mother was Norwegian and sweet, cross.
Yeah. She was, according to what she told me, she would be half Norwegian and half Swedish.
Hmm. Well, I'm half Norwegian, quarter Scot, and a quarter Irish. And there's English mixed in with the
Oh.
Irish and the Scot.
Well, I didn't know you had Irish.
You might have known, huh?
You must be related to old Mulroney.
I don't even recognize him.
What a,
Actually, I'm related to McCarthy's. McCarthy's.
oh.
Hmm.
Yeah,
You
no,
better
that's-
eat one of those, and I'll eat one more. Okay?
Okay.
We're eating Walter's famous bran muffins here.
Homemade bran muffins.
Mm-hmm. Now you're going to be batching it for 2 weeks, right? At least.
Yeah.
Why don't you come over some night?
Yeah, we will.
supper.
Yeah.
Come on over for
What kind
supper.
of cook you are. Probably better than me at that.
You know what I did last night? I put 3 chickens in a pot. I cooked 3 chickens.
3.
I forgot to separate them. You know, they were all frozen in a bag, 3 in a bag. You know.
Oh, that's wild chickens?
No, regular chickens. I bought them at Overweighty, but they froze together in this bag. They were all together.
Yeah.
I ran hot water on them, tried everything to get them apart. I couldn't get them apart, so I found the biggest pot I had, and I put all 3 in there. My poor son and I are going to be eating chickens for I don't know how long.
Oh, yeah, if you saw them out and then freeze them over, they ain't very good.
No, I just cooked them. Well, now let's go through a day while we're eating here. Let's say you're on the trap line, okay? And what do you have for breakfast? What would you eat for breakfast on an
Well,
average day?
Well, you mean, well, right after you come out of town, probably have bacon and eggs.
You'd still have them, yeah.
Maybe, if I'm camping out, I'd toast the fire, toast a stick on an open fire.
Yeah. That'd be pretty good, huh?
Yeah. I used to make toast on top of my camp stove too. I'd put a
Piece of
piece
aluminum.
of tin up there and put the bread up there and
Yeah.
toast it.
Yeah.
Or lay some, I made a toaster out of wire, bent
Yeah.
around
Mhm.
one place.
They sell those things now. You can buy them now. They're made out of wire. You set them over the Coleman stove, you know. You set them over the burner there, and there's
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah.
and there's 4 sides on it.
Yeah, I got one of them.
Have you got one? Yeah.
Around there someplace, kind of wrecked up.
So if you're close to town, you'd even have some jam, I'll bet, huh? Would you have any jam?
Eh?
Would you have any jam? Empress jam? A big can of
Oh.
Empress jam?
Yeah, most of the time I'd take honey with me.
Oh, honey.
Like when you're traveling, traveling. Sometimes I had canned butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd sometimes take jam, but I never use. Well, all trappers eat different, you see.
Yeah.
But I never eat much jam. I took
Yeah.
lots of dried fruit.
Did you?
Sugar.
Oh.
When I get hungry walking along, sometimes I'd put a handful of dried apples in my
Mm-hmm.
pocket, and then you eat them.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, while after you eat them, you're not hungry anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe make a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Or drink a little water or something.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
I eat a lot of my fruit that way. I had good teeth then, you see, that's why I had my teeth pulled
I
out.
was going to ask you if you had any teeth now. Or are you gumming it?
I don't know, my gums are so I believe maybe I'm going to cut some another set of
Oh,
teeth
yeah,
out there.
maybe 3. You're going to be the exception to the rule, yeah. Well, I make what I call trail mix. I take about a pound of peanuts, redskin peanuts, and then I take a pound of blanched peanuts, white ones, without the skin.
Uh-huh.
And then I take some raisins and some currants and some apricots, dried, and some dried pineapple and dried banana slices. Boy, that makes a good trail mix. And you mix them all up in a plastic bag, and carry that. But my favorite is jerky. No doubt. I make jerky. And
Yeah.
that is the best.
I never made any of that, no.
You never made any jerky?
No, we used to get it from the Indians all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I learned the ones that made
Good
dry
jerky.
meat.
Yeah.
We call it dry meat.
Yeah.
And dry
yeah.
moose meat.
yeah. That's what Mary was saying. She was looking forward.
You see, to make it good, you got to cut it off like steak.
You have to get it off
the
the
right way with the grain and everything. When it's good, you can take your fingers and just break that up. It's tender when you eat it when it's dry.
Yeah. Most people make jerky out of the poor parts of the animal,
Yeah, well, that's
and that's wrong.
It's not the right way to make it.
You should make your jerky right out of the round steak.
See, the Indians up there, there's part of them was beaver, and the Crees, some Crees live there.
Mm-hmm.
And this old Bay made the best dry meat. She was a Cree.
Oh.
Old Teresa Cardinal was her name, and she got married to a beaver guy. His name was Chicky Ass,
Yeah.
and she made the wonderful good dry meat.
So you'd buy it from her, huh?
Yeah.
Could you buy it fairly reasonable? Like, could you get it?
Oh yeah. Well, most of the time it was old Teresa. She had lots of. She'd always give me some.
She'd just give it to you.
Oh yeah. The Indians I was telling you, I got along pretty good with the Indians.
Mm-hmm.
Every Indian up there was my friend.
Yeah. You didn't cheat him or anything.
No. Oh no.
No.
I played poker with, it was Daniel Assassin and Edward, and there's a couple other Indians, I forget who they were. I don't know, I was just lucky. They played poker, for handkerchiefs and they'd play a shirt
22
off the
shells?
back or,
22 shells?
Yeah. They might have a little change. They didn't have much money them days, mostly
Mhm.
just for junk.
Mm-hmm.
And, by gosh, I didn't cheat.
But you were lucky, huh?
I was just lucky. Indeed, they looked at me. See, they asked me to play poker, and I was also busy working. I wouldn't play poker. And this day, I was there all by myself. The old man named Silverly. And yeah, I'll play with you. And I was just lucky. I won everything. And then, but I took and I gave the stuff back to them. I didn't want the goddamn stuff. I just
Mhm,
played
mhm.
for fun.
Mhm.
And that's
They-
when
they thought you were okay, huh?
That's when they looked at me.
Thought
And
you were okay.
Some of them Indians, well, not the assassin boys. I knew them enough. They knew I wouldn't be crooked anyway
Mm-hmm.
with them. And boy, gosh, the other Indians, they would play poker with me. They never asked me to play poker anymore. I took your stuff. Was just lucky,
Yeah.
And then I give the stuff back to them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they were impressed with that, weren't they, when you gave it back?
Yeah, well, that's what they saw them looking at me.
He's okay, they said,
They couldn't
huh?
understand that. They're superstitious a little bit, Indians are. Maybe they figured there's some kind of a devil man. I don't know.
Yeah, you could read through their cards, huh? Tell what was on the other side.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they're very superstitious.
we almost got through breakfast now.
See, I was telling about Indians up there. They never locked the door.
Mhm.
The Indian, partly because they wouldn't
About
steal,
Yeah, about half there. That's good. Well,
partly they wouldn't steal. And another thing, they're superstitious, you see. They don't go into somebody's house like that. And that was after, I came down off the trap line there one day, and when the old man and the Amos, they were gone. And down the river looking over the hay or cattle or something. So, great big padlock on the door.
On your door.
Yeah. So finally, yeah, I was there and I found them down there. What the hell's going on?
You locked my door.
Yeah. They locked the door. No, the door to the old homestead shack. I had a shack there, but I didn't have nothing in it, you see.
Uh-huh.
But they lived in this other shack, and they had an outside cellar full of enough canned meat to do them all summer, and groceries and stuff in the house.
Yeah.
And the butter packed down there and stuff, and somebody just cleaned it out. I think they had a case or two of
Hooch?
corn. They usually had some corn in case,
Yeah.
you see,
Oh,
or
yeah.
tomatoes or something. Every bit of grub they had there. So Amos was kind of suspicious of the guy that one of the newcomers, lived over a ways. And he'd been telling me, hey, you never lock your door? No, Amos said, just told him we never lock our door.
He probably came
Yeah.
around, huh?
And he says, I told you, Amos, he said, you should have locked your door. He said, all these goddamn Indians around here, and the
Yeah.
door not locked? I
Yeah,
said, "What
and he
can you
was the
expect?
one.
What can you expect? He said.
He was the one, probably. Yeah.
I think I was the one that
Yeah.
got the stuff away.
I always look at the guy that's always blaming somebody else.
That, years and years and years them Indians were there. And they never sold anything. Not, they wouldn't steal it.
Well, as you got farther away from your
About
town,
that time, everybody started locking their doors.
Yeah.
You know, there's a change of people, you see.
Mhm.
In the early days up in the country around Fort St. John, nobody ever started locking the door. I was down in Fort St. John. They had a co-op store there. It had a kind of a high sidewalk up about so high.
about 3 or 4
Up
feet.
there?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
A board sidewalk.
and so the store was going to close. I got my groceries, but I just got outside the door, and some guy wanted me to go down to his place there and have a drink. So I just set the darn groceries down this sidewalk, see? Didn't load them up. And I went down there, and I just thought I'd be gone in a few minutes, And I went, and by God, it turned out I didn't get back the next morning. Got a little too much to drink. I went back the next morning, and I thought to myself, I wonder if the groceries still there. No, there, sure enough, the groceries still sitting there. Nobody touched them. Now, how long could they do that up here? They set
You
the
know,
groceries out in front of the,
you can still do that in Norway.
Huh?
In Norway,
You can still do that.
you can still do that. In the little towns in Norway, they won't touch each other's property.
There you go. That's good.
That's good, isn't it, huh?
Yeah, it sure is.
And in Iceland, I was in Iceland, and it's every day that way. You'd be driving along in a bus and you'd see a pile of stuff there. Somebody dropped off a load of goodies for somebody else to pick up later. Right beside the road, there'd be a load of stuff. Boxes and stuff. But let's say now you got quite a ways from town and you started to run out of your bacon and eggs and your fresh bread.
Well, you always have flour.
Yeah, you always carried
And,
that.
Some of the travelers eat a lot of flour, but I got lined out in trapping to see when I went to the trap line. Well, the first year I didn't own the trap line. I trapped old Louis' line and I trapped Eric's line. And I run a line across onto both lines.
Yeah, you drew it on that map for
And
me.
I trapped her. They told me what to do. Eric told me.
Mm-hmm.
He said, set everything for Martin. Martin or high.
Yeah.
And you set everything for Martin, you see, and it don't matter what kind of trap it is. Don't trap for foxes, because foxes are scarce.
Yeah.
When they're scarce, they come to the trail and get a big jump in the way they go.
Yeah, you never get them.
trapped for anywhere, there wasn't worth
Yeah.
much. So I just mainly Martin trapped. I caught a few mink. I always made a few trail sets
Uh-huh.
in my trail,
Yeah.
And I caught quite a few martins.
You used everything from number 8 traps up to 3s, huh?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I made a little pen with a couple of these sticks up, and I set a number 3 trap there. And I figured Martin might jump on that and come by and had a link.
Is that right? Yeah.
That's where I learned that you don't have to. Some of them made big link pens,
Yeah. Logs.
And then the link could probably come up the back of it and get
Reach
out the
through
bait.
and grab it. Yeah.
But I found it for a link, you don't have to really make much of a
Oh, yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
Just a couple of, just something, he's not scared of a trap. You cover the trap up around this, make it kind of level to see, because you see a hard spot there, you might step over here in a soft spot.
Yeah.
But a mink is not as scared of a trap, he's just like a weasel or a
Mm-hmm.
squirrel. You put a little stick so he can step on the trap, you see, you guide him in his foot, where you see those twig there, he won't step there.
Yeah.
No other place to step, you put his foot on your
Right.
trap.
Yeah. Did you cover the trap with snow? Did you say or not?
Well, for a link,
Or just some feathers? Or.
sometimes they just pluck the trap down because it's snow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's snowing up on us.
And then it
And
wouldn't
you
freeze
don't-
up.
You don't want to never cover it for a link because he steps awful light.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
cover this ice, and you might come along
Yeah.
a link track on top of the thing. And
I
hard
found
pack
that I
snow.
never could cover.
but I'd sometimes haul it down in the leaves or needles or something, make it a
Mhm.
little bit level if you
Mhm,
could. You know?
mhm.
Never put snow on a link trap, no.
Every time, Walter, that I covered my trap with snow, it froze.
Yeah, it'll freeze.
From the
yeah.
heat of your mitten. In your hand.
Yeah, well, we used to take a piece of tissue paper, you know.
Yeah. Like Kleenex?
Yeah, and put a strip of that. Sometimes it's a strip, one way or the other. You might cover it all over, and then you take a wooden paddle, or
Oh.
something, just shake the snow
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Just shake it on lightly, and then
Yeah.
it will set.
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, if you use your
And you don't put very much. Maybe
Yeah.
you just put the paper down, just on the edge of it, over the top of your trap. Most of the time, though, you don't have to use anything. It's snow in the trapping season up there in the north. It's usually snow. You just set your trap down, and the snow's under anyway.
Yeah, so it's pretty
Before
well
time.
covered by the time the animals come around.
Yeah.
Did you ever eat lynx?
No, but I saw guys that eat link.
Aye,
And
the
they're good.
Chinese love them. The
They-
Chinese here.
The
Oh.
boys that trapped there before I did this, they eat link, and I said,
Mhm.
my God. This here is English guy, Eric Harmon,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he said they just like chicken.
Mm-hmm. I've eaten
Very
it. Have you? You've never tasted it?
No,
I've eaten it. It's good.
but the meat is, I always had lots of other meat anyway, and I
Yeah.
never eat. The meat is clean as anything.
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's white,
Yeah, it's light colored meat.
light
yeah.
colored meat. Yeah.
I bet it would be good meat.
It is good. I've eaten it.
If I was really hungry, I wouldn't hesitate, I'd eat it.
No.
I caught lots of link too, but I never eat the meat.
Okay, so you'd make, what would you make out of your flour? You see, I get back to that.
Oh, the flour. Well, I usually, if I was trapping, going with the toboggan or going packing my dogs,
Hmm.
I take some flour in a sack. We always had cloth sacks them days, you know.
What, about
the old
25
paper
pounds?
sacks.
25 pounds?
No, I just I'd take a 50-pound sack, you know,
Yeah.
maybe fill it about half full of flour or third full of flour. And
Yeah.
you put some salt in there, about like you measure your flour, you see, and you put it in there. And then you put your baking powder in there, then you shake that all up, mix it.
In the sack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you want to make a bannock, all you gotta do is put it out in a dish and wet it up a little with water and sparkle in your pan. And
Yeah.
you got a bannock.
Yeah, it
That's
raises.
I always mix my flour like that when I was out on
In
a beaver-
advance.
on a beaver hunt.
Yeah, in advance, so it was
Yeah.
quick to make the meal,
Yeah.
huh? Huh. Salt? Baking powder?
Sometimes as a toboggan, I'd take baking powder and salt separate, but when you're
Yeah.
packing dogs, I always said mix it up. I don't want no cans and stuff
Yeah,
on my
yeah.
dog packs anymore, and I have to have.
Yeah. So you'd have it in a bag,
Yeah.
all mixed up.
Yeah.
You had your Betty Crocker Bisquick mix all made.
You're ready mix.
Yeah,
Just
that
like
you
you
know
buy-
what, that's
just
the way
like-
they sell it now, you
just-
know.
Just like you buy out of the store.
Yeah, right. That's the way they sell it. But
Yeah,
you were way
yeah.
ahead of them.
I'm
You were
just
way
like a
ahead of
hotcake.
You missed it. You should have patented that. You'd have made more off that than your trap line.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that all you'd
Um,
have as bannock?
Oh no, I also said dry fruit. Dry fruit, sugar, and bannock is the main thing.
Yeah.
Meat, I can get that in the bush any place.
Yeah.
I used to get this here canned Borden's milk, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You can,
Tins like this.
You put it in water and stir
This?
it up. Yeah, no, they had little cans about like that, but then we get it sometimes in about a 3-gallon
A big
tin,
one.
big tin can.
Yeah.
And then you put it in a smaller can and take it with you. See?
Oh,
Or put it in a sack even if it.
it was
Yeah.
powdered milk.
Yeah, powdered milk, powdered whole milk. So
Yeah.
that was used. And I don't care much about their skimmed powdered milk. But this was whole powdered milk.
Did it taste pretty good?
Oh yeah. You mix that up and put it on your porridge or something. It
Yeah.
tastes just like cow's milk with it.
Oh yeah. I never
good.
can get used to that powdered milk. I don't know why.
Well, that's something kind of like this. This whole.
Hmm.
I don't know whether they sell it now or not.
Yeah. Well, they usually sell 2% or something like that.
Yeah. But you gotta get the whole milk. Them days they had the whole milk. It was better than that stuff they make now. That stuff they make now it tastes like chalk.
Yeah, that's what I agree.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. In fact, I bought 10 pounds of it about 20 years ago, and I still got it. I should actually give it to some farmer and let him throw it in with his feed.
Put
You
it
know.
in a food bank.
Yeah, something. No. I wouldn't do that to anybody. No. So you'd have
Well,
now. Let's say then you'd have your tea or
There
coffee.
was Ottermats around the dairy in Fort St. John. That was in later years there. And inspector come around one day there to the dairy, you know, like where they process their milk and they just unloading had a big truckload of powdered milk, pickup load or something there. And this Ottermat, there's a guy that's telling me. Oh, he says, that goes out to the farm. He says, that's for the calves. Take it out to the farm.
Oh, to give it to him. He
Yeah.
gave it to him.
No, they was just starting to unload it when this
Oh.
inspector come along.
Oh.
And Ottermat, he says, oh, that's for the farm. He said, that goes out to the farm for the calves. Take it out to the farm. He told his
Mhm.
truck driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew they mixed it in their milk when they run short of milk. You know, mixed partly powdered milk.
Yeah.
He done good in the dairy business. The
Yeah.
guys who had it before him went broke.
Yeah.
I guess that's how
He
it
made
is.
it, huh?
He made
He
it.
stretched it a little, huh?
Well, you had to, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you had to do that to make
Yeah.
it go. But
Would you skip lunch then on the trail sometimes, or would you eat a lunch every time? I read that some of
Oh.
those trappers, they never ate lunch. They would go right through and then eat a great big supper. Is that true or not?
well, I have done that in the short days, you see. But we used to do that even when we was homesteading farming.
Yeah.
We just eat breakfast and
Supper.
when you're batching, then we just have supper,
Yeah.
early supper, like.
Yeah.
But most of the time, in the trap line, I'd go a long ways and you stop and make tea.
Mm-hmm.
And,
With lots of sugar in it.
and maybe eat I used to use sugar in the tea.
Yeah.
Very seldom when I was out in the trap line, I'd use milk in the tea. I just put a little sugar in it.
Yeah.
Sometimes just drink it black.
Yeah.
You feel hungry for something sweet, then you put a little sugar in. And as I told you, I always packed a little dried fruit handy.
Yeah.
I'd chew on that.
Yeah.
There was something to lunch on.
Mm-hmm.
But when the days got longer, along towards spring, I was out in the bush. I'd stop and have a lunch. I'd
Mhm.
make lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always got up early. Some of the trappers, they didn't get up very early and
Missed half the day, huh?
run down to the next cabin and listen to the radio or something. I didn't even.
They missed the day, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'd always start out before daylight. in the morning.
You'd start out in
Quite
the
a
dark.
while. One time I went about 5 miles, I think it was, before it started breaking daylight.
Hmm.
Just fixing these sets and.
Mm-hmm. Well, so then what about supper now? You'd really go whole hog on that, wouldn't you? I mean, that had to last you through the cold of the night, didn't it? That supper that you ate?
Yeah, well, usually the big meal was supper time, yeah. But
Yeah.
I usually eat a good breakfast and I'm good for all day.
Yeah.
I still do that.
Yeah. You make a nice
I
breakfast.
forgot we went over here to Bud's this evening for
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah. And you ate a great big
And I
breakfast.
got up it's like I usually do it. I eat a big breakfast and got over there, I wasn't hungry yet.
And there was a beautiful supper, huh?
Oh, gee,
Yeah.
it's the nicest supper I ever saw set on the table. It was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, I'll bet.
It
Yeah.
was simple, plain, but
Food.
it was good.
It was done right.
Yeah.
Cooked well.
Sure, sure good. She's a good cook.
Yeah.
The little girls helped cook there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And I think one of the little girls mashed the potatoes, and
Yeah.
another one made some gravy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think she's like my mother. My mother used to teach my sisters how to cook when they were quite young. You know,
mhm.
how to sew on a sewing machine. No sewing machine like something like that
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah. A little kick singer.
And they do all kinds of make her party dresses, fancy
Mhm,
frills,
mhm.
and some
Yeah.
days they had made the dresses with frills and
Yeah.
lace things
Yeah.
on them. And
Yeah.
my older sister, my mother, usually made all my shirts.
She did. Your shirts. Yeah.
I come to this country to buy a good shirt, kept for good wear, you know.
Yeah. It was hers.
It was my older sister made it. I
Wow.
told the guy, sister made. Oh, gee, where'd you get that shirt? And I said, my sister made it. Oh, go on, bullshit, somebody else.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
making
yeah,
it a place
yeah,
there, you know.
yeah.
You couldn't have got mad at me.
Yeah.
I don't know, no. I said, my sister always made my shirts.
Yeah.
My mother. You don't, women don't work like they used to.
What about now? Now? Let's say I suppose you'd have meat for supper, huh? Meat
well,
usually.
if it had meat too. When you're out in the bush that way, you eat what you got.
Yeah. So it could be anything, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes it might just be some bannock and butter and tea.
For supper.
Yeah. But I usually had moose meat. I'd have some fairly close to each cabin. You know.
Hanging in a tree.
No, we'd lay it on the. You could lay it on the windfalls and.
Wouldn't the wild animals bother it? The ravens and that?
Yeah, they eat it up. You see, I done that when I first started this here.
Uh-huh.
And even you covered with snow. I done that when I was down there farming. The guy, he couldn't get a moose, and so I shot one for him and buried it in the snow. Lots of snow.
Uh-huh.
And by God went down there, and a coyote, I guess, had scratched in there and started a place. And then the ravens got up. Usually it didn't bother anything, you know.
Yeah.
And the ravens, oh, gee, they made an awful mess of
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah.
Shit all over it.
I know ravens. They are the canniest things, boy. They're smart, those darn ravens. Oh, and they'll find your stuff.
But then, after I trapped there, I trapped one winter there, and then the boys come back, I trapped the trap line. And then the next winter I trapped there, I killed lots of moose. And then I got so I didn't bother hunting the moose very much. It was kind of a hard country in Eric's, where they got onto his line. And Louis' line had lots of moose on it.
Uh-huh.
A good place to hunt. So I didn't bother hunting. Sometimes I just take bacon, take a little meat with me.
Yeah. But on Eric's side, you ate moose
I'd
meat.
have a moose someplace on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. But how could you keep the animals off of them?
Well, you'd hang it up. I'd haul it in to the cabins and.
And hope, huh?
Yeah.
And hope that nothing came around. Hmm. Did you ever run into one of those rotten wolverines?
There was wolverines up there, but to tell you the truth, I had a wolverine take a fox out of a trap one time, and I set a trap for him, and by God, he chewed the toggle into about three different pieces.
Is that right?
And he took off with maybe a stick about that long. I figured.
Yeah?
And the chain in the trap, but I never did get the bugger.
You followed him for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah. It wasn't, when I was trapping, the wolverines were scarce there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, old Louis, he used to catch them. I went around his line, helped him set up, pick his traps up one time. And, no, I helped him set up. And I went around next time. He set one of them 4.5 wolf traps.
Yeah,
He
big
trapped
one.
something
Yeah.
like that for a
Yeah.
wolverine.
Yeah.
And I thought, gee, a little animal like that in such a big trap. But come back and had the wolverine, both front feet in there.
Oh, yeah.
The jaws coming out of him, just
Yeah.
like that.
And that was it. Was he
Yeah,
still alive?
No, he used to throw a stick
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wanted to use a big trap, you see, that If you catch them by a foot, they'll push their foot off, eat it off, and away they
Yeah,
go.
yeah. But you want to get them higher up.
Yeah,
right?
you want a big trap, set a big trap.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you caught a little trap, they don't hold. very
They're
long.
tough. Those darn wolverines.
But
are
they
tough.
weren't very thick when I was trapping. See, animals, the wolverines are thicken up,
Yeah.
then they all go, and then they become thick again, and they come in cycles. those
Right.
animals.
Yeah.
Fisher, I never, up on the registered trap line, I never caught a fisher. And when I got farming, I got a farm up there. It was on, what's the farm, up the Hope Road. About 2 miles, about a mile down the Hope Road, I guess it was.
They had a Hope up there too, huh?
On the Hope Road.
Yeah.
The road that goes Hudson Hope from,
Oh, is that what they call it?
Portsmouth,
Okay.
they call it
Yeah.
the Hope Road.
Oh, the Hope Road. Okay.
I homesteaded and I bought 2 quarters there.
Uh huh.
And I caught most of these on my own land, and another guy's place I could trap on.
You got your fisher
And-
over there.
Well, geez, I caught about 25 or over 20 fishers in the first winter I was trapping the fishers.
Were they worth
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, they wasn't worth very much, no. I forget what they was. They were $2 a fisher.
Do you know what they went up to when I was
They
a kid?
were, when I was trapping up there, if you caught a fisher, you get about a good dark black fisher, you get about $1,000. But there just wasn't no fisher there. When I come down there and I caught them fisher,
Oh.
some of them nice dark black ones too. You know. I think it's $5 or $6.
Oh,
a piece or something
gee,
like
the
that.
price changed, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I know. At one time there
It
was
must
high.
have been, they just, see, there's nobody living up in there much, quite a bit of open country up in there. And I guess they bred up in there and then they come down through where I had my land there.
They're easy to catch.
Oh, yeah,
Fisher are so. They're like weasels.
Yeah, they try to get caught.
Yeah, they seem to. Yeah.
I caught most of them. I used to trap marten. I just made a block set. You take a little stick, you know, when you flatten the top of it, lean up against a tree. You know what a block set is, I guess.
No, describe it again.
You never made a block set?
No.
Well, you take a stick about so big around, you see,
Yeah.
maybe about so high.
2 feet high.
Depending on how you want. Some
Yeah.
I've seen some of them make their block sets about that high, like, and then one block like
About
that.
2 feet high. Yeah.
And you stick down here, you see, and you stick that down the dirt and the
Yeah.
snow, the bottom of it, and you slope that off. And you set your trap up on there.
Yeah. On the top of the log.
Yeah, you
Tie it to the tree?
Take your chain up. I usually steeple the chain up about just so the trap will just sit there and the chain will be very
Yeah.
tight.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have a nail. You put a nail up there. You put sometimes I just, if you have nothing else, just put a feather and a little dog. I always made scent.
You made your own scent?
Made the scent, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
For Martin and Wheeler and stuff, I learned that from them. The boys there, the trapped up there for me.
Yeah.
And Louis gave me some to start with, and you take and put cinnamon and put Rogers syrup. It doesn't freeze very easy.
Yeah.
And well, you can put a little bit of rum in there if you want to
Yeah.
soften it up. And then you put some aspartame and all your different.
Yes. Yeah. All that stuff that stinks. Anise oil.
Yeah. you
Anise
use that,
oil, yeah.
and Oil of valerian for you use that for weasels and marten and fisher
Yeah.
and things like that.
Where'd you get that? The drugstore?
Yeah, I got some that I had to order it special at the drugstore, but they can get it. Sometimes they have it, sometimes they wouldn't. If they didn't
Yeah,
have it, you
yeah.
order it to see.
Yeah. Did you ever?
And it's clean. There's nothing in that scent that's dirty. You see, just like
Yeah.
Louis, this here German guy.
Yeah.
He showed me how to make scents, and he said, "Well, if you get some in your mouth, it doesn't matter. It's clean anyway. Nothing dirty in it, except that scent stuff you pour in there, you know, the bottles.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
nothing very dirty about that."
Yeah. Oh, I made mine out of fish oil. Did you ever try that? Chop up fish?
Yeah, I made some out of fish oil too, like for a coyote or a wolf or something.
Dogs loved it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take a little dry stick about so long, and you dip that into your bottle of scent,
Yeah.
and then you just set that up in a little bush in the
Yeah.
snow.
Right next to your
And
trap.
you make a You trap down there, you let it snow under, or you
Yeah,
cover it up, or
yeah.
whatever you feel like doing.
Yeah,
Most of the time up there it snowed under anyway in trapping season.
yeah.
And then he comes to you'll even us off the trail a little ways. They come down there and they move and they smell that.
And look
that
out.
They're,
Yeah,
they're sick. You got
Yeah.
sitting up there, and then you
Yeah.
catch them.
yeah, yeah. Did you fasten your trap solid or put them on a drag?
Most of the time, you put them on a toggle. It's better because it'll have a little give. But they jump the first time and see
Yeah.
if you got them solid, they might pull the foot right out of it.
Yeah. And then they tangle up very shortly, right?
Yeah. Oh, they don't go very far.
Mm-hmm.
But I found it better for them animals. I put them on a toggle.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the first fisher. I didn't know what I had. I couldn't believe it. I didn't know. What kind of an animal was that? It was a big grizzly. You know how they get sort of grizzled? The males, the big males?
Yeah.
White and gray tips on
Yeah,
their hair and
yeah.
stuff. Mean looking thing, boy. But they eat martins.
Oh,
Fishers eat martins.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't no fish here when I was trapping up in the bush there.
Yeah.
I caught them after I was farming.
Oh, on your trap line on the farm.
I-
Yeah, and
I
the price
trapped,
had dropped.
At first I moved, I got a farm east of Bill Donald up there. It's 7 or 8 miles east of Fort St. John there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear on the trap line there, there was a couple of Alexander boys. They had 3 quarters in a row, and 4 quarters I think they went across the row in their land. And then I had 2 quarters of my own, you see. It was 1 mile and a mile and a half. And down below them there wasn't nobody living there. And I went on down the 4 Mile Creek, they called it a ways. And I caught over $1,000 worth of fur on that son of a gun, but little trap like
In 1 year?
Trap, yeah.
In 1 year.
The first year I was there, trapped there on that, I took and I got an old horse. They wanted to kill my wife's daddy.
Yeah.
And I shot one on my quarter, and I took one down on Elmer Alexander's land there, and I shot it down there. And I never set any traps down in that place down below. I set traps there. I caught foxes that come around them.
Come around the
them,
horse.
Them carcasses too. And I
Yeah.
tried to catch them up in the bush, around a moose
You couldn't.
carcass. No, they wouldn't come close.
But they like the horse meat.
Yeah,
huh?
there's horse meat, though, the foxes, I caught quite a few.
Yeah.
I just set the traps around us.
Yeah.
I went up where my building's there on my own land. I didn't go close to that horse. I trapped coyotes. And I'd catch them where they come in, you see.
On the trails.
Yeah, the trails where they come
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
There's horse tracks around there, and I'd ride in a saddle horse, and then I'd step in horse tracks, and I'd haul out underneath the trail and put a trap under
Right,
there.
I know what you mean. Yeah, right underneath.
Yeah,
underneath. Yeah.
When they come along, everything's just perfect, and they come
Yeah.
along, they step right in.
One
There's a-
surprised coyote.
There was a guy there, Chris Fields. He was trapping that winter too, and I caught all them coyotes. He'd catch coyotes too. Them coyotes around the settlement, I tell you, they're hard to catch. They're harder than out in the bush. They get smart, living around the settlement.
Yeah, they have to, huh?
And I got ahead of him a little bit. I'd see him, and he'd tell me how many coyotes he got. And I
Yeah.
had also a little bit ahead of him.
Yeah.
Well, I worked at it harder. I guess
Yeah,
he had more
yeah.
to do around his
Yeah.
farm, probably. He's a pretty good trapper, old Chris.
What was his name? Chris what?
Chris Fields.
Fields, yeah. Just like our field store, huh?
Yeah.
Did you ever use snares? Or mostly foot traps?
Oh yeah, he snares for coyotes.
Yeah, they were good, weren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Well,
superior.
you can make blind sets. You set them on a rabbit trail. You see.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you're in a place where, like in Alberta, where they got bluffs of trees, like up north of Castor, we went up there different times. There's groves. My uncle, he lived out there. He used to snare coyotes. He'd put a snare on each rabbit trail with some of these here brush,
Mm-hmm.
And the coyotes, I guess the rabbit would be out in the open, and he'd run down the trail, and the old coyote would go after him, and they run into the snare.
Yeah.
But I saw coyotes. I saw coyotes. You go out there and you set a snare, and that coyote
He'd figure it out, huh?
They walk right up to us. My God, they nose it around a little bit, they back out of there, and away you go.
Yeah.
They got to be running after something.
They got to be distracted.
Yeah, their attention is distracted.
Yeah,
and
from
then-
something,
Then you
yeah,
catch them.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I used to do? This was sneaky. For foxes. We didn't have any coyotes where I was. But I'd set a snare for a rabbit. I found out those foxes were following around and they were taking my rabbits out of my traps, out of my snares.
Yeah.
They would just go along like they were set for them, you know. And they'd haul my
Yeah, they
rabbits
do
off and take my snare and everything, you know, because they'd grab the whole thing and reef it off in a way they'd go with my rabbit. So I thought, well, I'm going to get you. And you know how a fox or a coyote will go to the highest ground
Yeah.
to look things over.
Yeah.
Things,
They get up on a hill.
yeah. Well, there'd always be a mound, an old stump or something. So I'd set my fox trap up there. And then I'd set my snare down there. They wouldn't rush in. They always looked it over. This was in an area where there were lots of people, and, you know, it was
Yeah, a coyote won't hardly touch anything. If it's around the settlement, he'll watch it. So you come on tonight and he'll look it all over. And maybe the next night, maybe about 3 nights before he'll touch anything.
yeah, they're really, they
Yeah.
size things up.
We killed quite a few of them there.
Well, did you ever make ends meet trapping? Did you ever make it? I mean, was it worthwhile?
Oh yeah, I mean the first year I trapped on the boys. I trapped 2 lines, like, but I used to use about half of Louis' line, half of Eric's line,
Yeah.
and I made pretty good money. Well, for now it wouldn't be very much, but I come out there at Christmas time and I sent $700 or $800 down to the bank with a guy. They didn't have no bank in Fort St.
Yeah.
John. I sent down in Dawson Creek,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and I found well, that's where I started learning what people are, you know.
They take some of the money.
No, that guy was a very honest guy that I sent money down with. But when you're making a little money and it's all everybody else is poor, you know, and hard up,
They come to
well, they
you
all hate me. They hate
Oh.
my guts, though. That's all I'm still doing.
because you had money.
Yeah, because I'd make money.
But
and
you'd
they
been
didn't-
working.
And see, when it was up in Blueberry, they was all hard up. Some of them, they wouldn't have 50 cents to buy a ticket to go to the sports.
Yeah.
It was that hard up, you know, for money. Money was scarce.
Yeah.
But I'd always trap a little up there. And what I'd always do, I'd wear old clothes and patch my overalls up and wear them
Yeah,
around when I'm
yeah.
working.
Yeah.
When I'd go out, I'd have put there a new pair of overalls and
Yeah.
a good shirt and
Yeah.
dress up and go down to the settlement, you see.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd always have money.
Yeah. So they
Not
thought you
very
were,
much, but you see, even when you're catching squirrels for $10, 10 cents a piece,
Yeah.
it was money them days.
Yeah. Yeah. I was reading what you could
10,
buy.
10 cents was
What could you buy for
was
10
worth
cents?
about $3 now.
Yeah. What could you buy, for example? Could you buy a dozen eggs for 10 cents?
Gee, I don't know just what eggs were, to tell the truth.
How about
But
flour?
You got a loaf of bread for 10 cents, I think it was, or 2 for a quarter.
2 for a quarter.
I think maybe old Tucker used to sell them at 2 for a quarter. Yeah.
That's 2.5 squirrels, right?
Yeah.
Did they cut the squirrel in 2? Give them 3 squirrels and they cut it in 2? No.
No, they'd sell the squirrels. And,
Then you'd get the money.
yeah, I think it was about, bread was about 2 for a quarter or something.
Yeah.
Then I know.
How about 22
then it-
shells?
If things got a little higher, and I remember then when bread was 25 cents a loaf, and then pretty soon, next thing you know, you were paying 50 cents a loaf.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that was in the 30s?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we camped on the outskirts of Edmonton when we was coming up with the animals, and we'd go over to the bake shop there, and my God, I think you got the day old bread, 10 cents a loaf, or 2 for 10 cents or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, things were way cheaper.
How about a box of 22 shells?
No, I don't just know what I can't remember.
The cheapest I ever got was shorts. Get a box of shorts, 22 shorts,
Yeah.
for about 49 cents.
I think at that time it was around 50 cents maybe or something. and maybe 49 cents.
Mm-hmm. But
It's
that's what
something
we
like
used to
that,
do.
I
We
can't
get
remember.
we get 75 cents for a weasel. Maybe $1.50 if it was a real beauty, a great big weasel.
Yeah.
But we caught short-tailed weasels, those little ones.
Yeah.
There happened to be, that's all there were around our area.
How much
short-tailed.
would you get for a giant or a big one?
The big ones, about $1.75. Maybe $1.
There's a boat like that, I guess. I had a little trap line, weasel line. We used to ride out there about once a day, and I'd catch 2 or 3 weasels sometimes
Yeah.
each time.
Yeah.
I think that was about $1.50 or something.
And when was that? In the 30s?
Yeah, that was sometime in the 30s.
Well, that was good money. If
And
you could get $1.50.
that was before I started trapping on a trap line.
Yeah.
But I just run that little line for weasels.
Well, some guys were working in the 30s for $1 a day, right? In the 30s?
Oh yeah, that's the top wages they paid when they're freighting over the Nelson Trail.
Yeah.
They'd give them $1 a day on their board.
Yeah.
$1 a day till they get back on their board.
Yeah.
That was big wages at that time.
But if you got $1.50 for a weasel,
You got, I went working for a farmer there one winter for a few months that winter. And $17.50 a month was wages, going wages that time.
that's about 50
But,
cents a...
But they paid, on the freight trail, they pay $1 a day. Well, you have to buy extra clothes, you see, underwear and parkies and stuff.
for the cold.
Yeah, for the stand the cold.
Yeah.
You had to have a little extra money. That's
Yeah.
what most of them paid was.
$1 a day and board. huh?
Yeah. That's, it seemed like they paid them a little less than that when we first went up there. But that was still in the 30s, they was paying $1 a day.
Yeah. So
That's
if you could make $3 on weasels, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah. I remember that day, I went out there one day and I got 3 giants, we call them.
Yeah.
3 big weasels.
Yeah.
And I saw moose tracks. That'd be about in 1932. That is about the first winter I was up there. And I saw a moose track.
Yeah.
And I learned how to hunt moose. You never follow the track or they get the wind and jump up. So this guy, Indian told me, well, you gotta see a moose track, you circle around to see it. And,
Get the wind.
Oh, yeah, you take a circle. So I made a circle and a big windfall slash there. Jumped up on top of that, and this moose, he jumped out right from under me.
Oh boy.
And that time I was pretty handy with 30. I shot about 3 times. That moose was running away from
Yeah.
me there.
Yeah.
He didn't run very far. He stopped. No, I took my back track. See, that's what they say. You take your back track. The moose will always circle and get the wind on you
Yeah.
before he runs away.
Yeah.
So you jump him up here, and he ain't got the wind on you. So he'll go this way or go that way, and he'll come back so he's got the wind
From
so,
you.
so he can smell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I took and I took my back tracks and cut across the ways, and there saw that moose standing 100 yards. I set it off afterwards. One shot down like that. And he, oh, crazy, he was up there.